Went yesterday, did a day trip over to Disney World. I have so many memories there, and now that I'm a Florida resident, I can go. I go a lot. I just go by myself often and long for the time when I can bring my granddaughter back and my kids and friends and we can spend more time. But I'll just go during the day. Like yesterday, it was a beautiful day, and I'm so glad that the weather has improved dramatically in Texas, and hopefully Texans are getting back to drinking water and all the damage that was wreaked upon the great state of Texas last week. I've been praying for everybody affected by the winter weather and the whole energy problem there. And I was just watching Disney. It's just, and incidentally, I don't know what they're doing at Disney World in terms of capacity. I thought I read somewhere that they're only at 30% or 25%. If that's 25, 30, 35% capacity, wow. What's it going to look like when they're back at 100% capacity? Because it seemed pretty packed to me. Of course, when you go to Disney, it's an interesting experience now because Disney World, and they've been open for most of the pandemic. You wear masks. They've got all kinds of social distancing things. They got, stickers on the ground, and you have to, they've got hand sanitizers all throughout the park. They still don't have the fast passes. I don't understand that. I don't know. I don't get why. Anybody who knows Disney World knows how great it is to have those fast passes where you go to a ride or an attraction at a prescribed time and you get right through. And you got to do it in advance. You do it on your app. For some reason, they got rid of the fast pass system during the pandemic, and it's still not back. Well, guess what? That means it's an hour and a half to ride a ride, which is stupid. There's got to be some thinking behind it. I wonder what their reasoning is, why they've gotten rid of and I know they've laid off a bunch of people at Disney. How about Disneyland in California? It's still shut down. Riddle me this, Batman. How can thousands and thousands and thousands of people have a happy, decent, somewhat normal experience at Disney World, but you don't dare darken the gate of Disneyland? That stays shut. I guess that's, a Republican governor as opposed to a Democrat governor, right? Speaking of Disney, now the Muppets are offensive to people, evidently. That's right. Anyone who streams the Muppet Show on Disney Plus is going to see a disclaimer, warning of offensive content. Disney released 5 seasons of the Muppets for streaming Friday. However, there's a disclaimer. This is before the Muppets, okay, that says this program includes negative depictions and/or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. The Muppets. I am so sick of people being, everybody's offended about everything. People just stay in a perpetual state of rage and offense. And I'm just, and yet there are some positive things, and I'm the first to admit it. There's a lot of stuff we can do better. Can I share a stupid Disney diversity story? They don't have the full-blown parades or light shows at Disney World, and I admit it. I'm a Disney geek. My wife and kids and I spent many happy hours at Disney World. That to me is really a happy place. My wife's ashes, some of her ashes were scattered at Disney World. Shh, don't tell them. You're not supposed to do that. But we snuck them in, and we had a little pouch, and we scattered. So she loved Disney World. Disney World reminded her of happiness and joy, and so when I go, I get a little bit of that. And I've been so sad about Rush Limbaugh's death. I was watching Mark Levin last night on Fox News, reminiscing with Sean, and all those memories came flooding back of my early days at WABC Radio in New York and what it was like to meet Rush and spend time with him. And I didn't know him very well, but gosh, he's going to be missed. I mean, the Muppets offensiveness is a perfect Rush story. And I still can't believe he's gone. It just hurts so deeply. And so going to Disney and seeing things, just observing people, I like to just sit on a bench and watch people go by, see the joy of generations, and see families having fun like my family and I have over the years. And something they don't have big parades, but they have mini parades now. They have little parade. They have like one or two of the floats that'll come by with some of the Disney characters. They don't want huge crowds, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand the rules. I think they kind of make it up as they go. Anyway, I'm going to get a little emotional on this because I know we can do better when it comes to race. And 2020 was a tough year, and George Floyd's death and all that we experienced as a country. And yet, as a conservative and as an observer, I always say racism isn't everywhere. Not everything is racist. And to the left, everything's racist. Everything's the patriarchy, everything. But I saw a moment. There was a moment yesterday. There was a float at Disney World going down Main Street, USA. And they had the princesses. They had like Disney princesses. And one of I guess that's what they were. I don't know. They looked like princesses, and there was music I didn't recognize, but everybody was excited. We're watching the parade. And behind me was a family, a Black American family. Mom, dad, 2 or 3 beautiful little kids. And of course, everybody's got their masks on, but the little girl had a Disney princess outfit on. And on the Disney float were like 4 princesses. And one of them was a Black woman. Now, I don't know what princess she's supposed to be, and admittedly, most of the Disney princesses in history were probably white. But Disney, undoubtedly trying to be diverse and mindful of the time we're in, one of the princesses was a Black woman. Beautiful Black woman in this real pretty princess dress, right? And the Black family that I was standing in front of, I mean, the little girl's waving, and the princess on the float saw the little girl and pointed at her and made like a connection because she had the same dress on. It wasn't even about race, other than that was, to me, the one of the takeaways was that normally there's not a Black princess on a Disney float. And there was yesterday, and this Black family, the little girl was so excited, and she was, just chirping with delight. You could hear her under her mask, hi, and I just teared up. It was just a great moment, and it shows, I mean, we can do better, and we're trying. My gosh, this country is trying. And that's a spirit that we should never ignore. We should never stop trying, but we should never refuse to acknowledge that there are areas we can do better. For a Black family at Disney World to see a Black princess, that meant so much to that little girl, and she could connect and she could relate, and she had some joy. Not that she wouldn't have had joy from a white princess, but there's an effort here. There's nothing wrong with pushing back against those who scream racism at the drop of a hat, but also acknowledging that moments like that can happen. Moments like that are there's nothing, we shouldn't be afraid of embracing that moment, because I loved that moment, and it was a joyful experience yesterday, and it was fun to kind of see that and to see so much, dare I say it, happiness. What was that line from Annie? The Miss Hannigan, do I hear happiness here? There was a lot of happiness at Disney World yesterday.